Okay, today we're going to pull back the curtain and look under the hood of your computer, into a world most people never even see. I'm talking about the command line. And we're going to explore it from a hacker's perspective, using tools you'd find in an operating system like Kali Linux. The goal here isn't just to learn what the commands are, but to really understand why they're the most powerful tools in any pro's arsenal.
You know, it all starts right here, with this one single blinking cursor. It might look kind of simple, maybe even a little old school, right? But this is where the real power is, and it makes you ask a pretty fundamental question. I mean, really think about it. Is it a mouse, your trackpad, some fancy graphical interface with windows and icons? Nope, not even close. The most powerful way to use a computer is to speak its native language, and that language is text, typed directly into the command line.
So, what's the big deal with this text-based world? Why is it so powerful? In this first part, we're going to see exactly why. Especially in high-stakes fields like cybersecurity, that little blinking cursor is way mightier than the mouse.
This quote from the folks who make Kali Linux, well, it pretty much says it all. This is a toolkit built for professionals. And for those pros, the command line isn't some clunky limitation. It is the fastest, most direct, and most powerful way to get the job done.
All right, let's start learning this new language. We're going to kick things off with the 3 most basic, most essential commands you need to just find your way around this digital landscape.
Think of this whole thing as your digital GPS. It's super simple. First, you type pwd to figure out where you are right now. Then, you use ls to look around and see what files and folders are nearby. And finally, use cd to actually move into one of those folders. That's it. See? Not so scary.
A really easy way to remember these is to just frame them as simple questions and actions. PWD is basically asking, where am I? LS is asking, what's around me? And CD is you deciding, okay, let's go there. It makes the whole thing feel way more intuitive, right?
So now we know how to move around. Let's take it up a notch. We're going to go from just looking around to actually taking control of what's happening on the system. This is where it gets fun. So how do you see what's actually running on your machine? Well, you can use PS to get a quick snapshot of all the active processes. Or, my favorite, you can use top, which is like a live, real-time command line version of a task manager. It shows you exactly what's hogging your CPU and memory right this second.
Okay, so you see a program running and you need to stop it. You've got 2 main choices. Think of SIGTERM as tapping someone on the shoulder and politely asking them to leave. It gives the program a chance to save its work and shut down cleanly. But if it refuses to leave, then you use SIGKILL. That's the bouncer grabbing the program and throwing it out, no questions asked. You always try the polite way first. And the tool you use to send these signals is the kill command. Every process has a unique ID number, called a PID. For that polite request, you just type kill and the PID. For the bouncer, that's kill -9 followed by the PID. It's incredibly precise and, well, very powerful.
Now we're getting into one of the most important, and honestly, one of the most misunderstood concepts in the command line, permissions. This is basically the grammar, the rule book, that decides who gets to do what on your system. Understanding this is absolutely crucial for security.
At its core, it's actually pretty simple. Every single file and folder has a set of rules attached to it that define just 3 basic actions. Can you read it? Can you write to it? And, if it's a program, can you execute it? That's the whole game.
So how does the system keep track of all this? With numbers. It's just simple math. Read is worth 4 points, write is 2, and execute is 1. You just add those numbers up to create any combination of permissions you could possibly need.
So check it out. It's always a set of 3 numbers, one for the file's owner, one for the group, and one for everyone else. So if you see a command like chmod 764, here's how you break it down. The owner gets a 7. That's 4 + 2 + 1, so they get full control, read, write, and execute. The group gets a 6, that's 4 + 2, so they can read and write. And everyone else, they just get a 4, which means they can only read the file. That's it.
And this brings us to a super important warning. You'll often see beginners on the internet say, oh, just chmod 777 it to fix the problem. Please do not do this. Giving something 777 permissions means everyone, the owner, the group, random strangers on the network, can read, write, and execute that file. It's a massive, gaping security hole that just invites malware and attacks. You should basically never use it.
Okay, so we've got the fundamentals down. Now,
Let's look at the really powerful stuff. This is where the command line stops being about basics and starts becoming a full-blown hacker's toolkit.
First up, SSH. This is the absolute bedrock of remote administration. It lets you securely log into and completely control another computer anywhere in the world, all through an encrypted connection, just as if you were sitting right there. It's magic. Then you've got Nmap, the network mapper. This thing is like having a digital sonar system. You point it at a network, and it pings everything to see who's there, what services they're running, and what doors they might have left unlocked. It's totally essential for any security audit.
And grep. Oh man, grep is a lifesaver. Imagine you're hunting for one specific IP address in a log file with millions of lines. Grep can find it in less than a second. It's basically a super-powered search engine for your entire system, and it is blindingly fast.
And honestly, we are just scratching the surface here. The command line is the foundation for legendary tools like Metasploit for exploiting vulnerabilities, Wireshark for spying on network traffic, and tools like Hydra and John the Ripper for cracking passwords. The arsenal is it's huge.
So we've come a pretty long way from that single blinking cursor, haven't we? You now have the basic vocabulary, the grammar, and a little peek into the powerful tools of system control. The command line isn't a mystery anymore.
You know, this famous quote is often associated with the sudo command. That's the one that gives you godlike administrative powers. And it's just the perfect summary for what we've talked about. Learning the command line gives you immense, and I mean immense, power over a system.
And that really brings us to our final thought. You've seen a little glimpse of what's possible, from just moving around to conducting advanced security audits. The tools are right there at your fingertips. So the real question is, what are you going to do with them? What will you choose to build or to break?